Trouble with a capital T. Now, if you're just waking up, you may not know what that spells because I'm doing it so fast. But today we are talking about trouble. Specifically, when did you get in trouble? And how that might be a good indicator as to what you were designed to do.
Do you have a not so perfect life? I mean, we may look like we have it all together, but the truth is we all have stuff. Unbroken provides a brave space where we women can take off the mask, share our secret struggles, and our secrets to success. Unbroken, doing life better together.
Hi, I'm Janae. I love Jesus. I'm a wife, I'm a mom. I've done lots of things professionally, but my heart is really helping women be their absolute best. And so we are taking 6 weeks in this podcast series of discovering ourselves. Who are we? I know that for me, oftentimes I have let the world or circumstances dictate what I should be. And when we should on ourselves, SHOULD, it is what it sounds like. When we should on ourselves, we're not able to be the women that God called us to be. And so today, we're going to spend just a few minutes thinking about some of those things that have caused us to get in trouble. As a kid, I got in trouble for many things, but a couple of things that I got in trouble for repeatedly. Number one, talking too much. At school, I was a fairly good student. However, I consistently got in trouble for running my mouth. Now, the reason I think that's funny now is because two reasons actually. One, I have taken so many personality assessments, and consistently I have found that I am an external processor. So talking through things is natural for me. It's the way my brain thinks. But the second part of that I think is funny is I got in trouble for talking too much. And what is one of my core businesses? Speaking. I'm a motivational speaker. But I have to tell you that as a kid, I got shushed a lot. And I don't know about you, but I hate getting shushed. But when you get shushed as a kid, if you are destined to be a speaker or you have a natural presence, an inclination for extroversion, getting shushed can kind of make you think that that's not okay. As we look at today, I want us to be able to identify those things that we did as kids that were maybe natural bents and we got in trouble for them. And so we let life kind of tell us that our natural personalities, our natural tendencies are not okay. I have a friend, and as a kid, she was constantly drawing on walls. Well, she got in trouble for drawing on walls. And now she's actually in New York as an artist, drawing on all kinds of not walls, but canvases. But there were many, many years when she didn't do art because she had gotten in trouble for it as a kid. So what are some of those things that maybe you got in trouble for as a kid? Now, I have to tell you that even as an adult, there have been some natural tendencies that I got in trouble for that was another good indicator on God's path for me. For example, years ago, I did leadership development and performance analysis for Southwest Airlines. Well, in the confines of a corporate structure, there are rules, policies, procedures that you need to follow. And what I found is that I was constantly asking my boss, well, why do we have to follow these? Some of these things, they just don't make sense to me. And I found that for me, I thought the policies were getting in the way of progress and of what we could be doing better. Well, guess what? Policies within a corporation are necessary, but I had a natural bent for entrepreneurial thinking, out of the box thinking. And when I realized that some of the way my brain was thinking was just not cut out for corporate America, that helped me start to explore going out on my own, being an entrepreneur. And so, what are some of those things that you're not necessarily getting in trouble for, but you constantly find yourself butting heads? It could be that you're not in the right place. I have a friend of mine, and within the confines of her job, she was always getting in trouble, or not really in trouble, but she was getting maybe kind of squashed when she had ideas about how processes could be done better. Well, she left that job. She is now in a COO position where her main responsibility is to look for ways that things can be done better. So, what are some of those natural inclinations that you have that you constantly seem to be butting up against some resistance that may be squashing some of who you were destined to be? So, we talked about maybe those areas that we got in trouble for as a kid, those things. I also mentioned what are some of those areas that things just aren't working. You feel like a square peg trying to get into a round hole. It could be that you're not operating in your natural gifting. Well, the third thing I want to talk about is maybe those areas that people have told you that you're not good enough. I remember as a kid, I loved singing. I loved performing. Now, when I say performing, in the spirit of transparency, I was just performing to my little stuffed animals and my dolls. They were a great audience because in my head, they felt like I was fabulous. But some of my playmates growing up would make fun of me and they would tell me that I wasn't a good performer. And so that led me for years to kind of squash those natural tendencies to perform. And what are those things? Weeks ago, we talked about what are those things that make our heart happy and our soul happy? Well, for me, that is performing. I mean, I remember in high school, I had a camera and I went around and I filmed my friends. And back then, some of my friends did not really want to be on camera. It's one of the same challenges I face today. And so I thought, well, maybe there's something wrong with me wanting to film everything. No, the fact is, that is my gifting. But that doesn't mean that it's everyone else's gifting to be on camera. But that love for performing, it was squashed at an early age. And so for years, I deviated from it. So as we continue to embrace who we were made to be, I want to challenge you to think back to those things that you got in trouble for as a kid, or maybe areas in your job or in your volunteer work or with your family that you meet some resistance. Perhaps it's because you're not giving yourself permission to operate in your gifting. Or lastly, what are some of those things that you know feed your soul, but maybe people have thought that you weren't good enough or they've squashed some of your dreams? Ladies, it is never too late to be the woman you're destined to be. And if you've listened to me at all, you know that I love to use the word destiny. The reason for that is a dream, as defined, is just a hope or a wish. So when people say, follow your dreams, it's like saying, follow your hopes and your wishes. No, no, no. I want to spur us on to walk into our destiny. See, a destiny is a predetermined course of events. You have a predetermined course of events for your life. But so often we have let people should on us, SHOULD, tell us what we should do, what we shouldn't do, who we should be, who we shouldn't be. And so on this 6 weeks to self, we are starting to embrace who we were destined to be. Now, if you've got someone who's maybe struggling with their job or challenged to fit in and to find their place in this world, share this with them. And may you be encouraged today to be the woman that you were destined to be.